These are the things that I personally avoid spending on. But of course, everyone has their own preferences and circumstances. I just want to share with you how these things could hold you back from achieving your financial goals. Whether it's getting out of debt, saving for a big purchase, or investing for the future. Let's get started with today's topic. But before that, I need your help. If you're a fan of my channel and you want to see more of my videos, please make sure you click the bell icon next to the subscribe button. That way you'll always get notified whenever I upload a new video. YouTube sometimes doesn't show you my videos, even if you're subscribed, so clicking the bell will ensure you don't miss anything. And while you're here, please give this video a thumbs up as well. It really supports my channel and it's super easy to do. Alright, let's get into it. The first thing that I think you should never waste your money on is buying a new phone or gadget every time there's an upgrade. For example, an iPhone 14 can cost a whopping $1,500. But what are you really getting for that price? Think about the opportunity cost of that money. It could be 10% of your down payment for a house. Or it could be money that you could use to pay off your high-interest credit card debt. Or it could be used to spend on something much more meaningful and valuable to you than a slightly better phone. I'm not trying to tell you what to do with your money, but I think you should be careful about buying a new phone or gadget every time they come out. Do you really need to spend that much on something that will be outdated in a few months? I have a different approach. I buy a refurbished phone or a budget-friendly option like a Google Pixel on Amazon for $180. And you know what? They work great for me. They can do 90% of the same things that the pricey phones can do, and I save myself $500 or $800 that I can use for something else. Unless you use your phone all the time for work and you need the absolute best camera quality or performance, there's no reason to buy the latest and greatest phone every year. Most of the time, the upgrades are very minor and not worth the extra cost. Do you really need to wave your hand in front of your phone to unlock it? Do you really need a slightly faster processor or a slightly bigger screen? Do you really need a camera that can zoom in 100 times or take pictures in the dark? Probably not, unless you're a professional photographer or something. The next thing that I think you should never waste your money on is memberships that you don't use or need. This can be anything from gym memberships to streaming services to online subscriptions. A lot of people sign up for these things with good intentions, especially around New Year's when they make resolutions to get fit or learn something new or watch more movies. But then they end up forgetting about them or losing interest or getting busy with other things. And then they end up paying for something that they don't use or need. For example, if you have a gym membership that costs $70 a month, but you only go once or twice a month, that's like throwing away money every time you walk through the door. You'd be better off working out at home or finding a cheaper alternative like a community center or a park. Or if you have multiple streaming services like Spotify, Hulu, Netflix, etc., but you only watch or listen to one of them regularly, that's like paying for content that you never consume. You'd be better off choosing one service that suits your needs and preferences and canceling the rest. Or if you have an Amazon Prime subscription that costs $120 a year, but you only order things online 3 times a year, that's like paying $10 extra for shipping every time you buy something. You'd be better off paying for shipping as needed and saving the annual fee. The point is, go through all your memberships and subscriptions and see if they're really worth it for you. If they are, great, keep them and enjoy them. But if they're not, cancel them and save yourself some money. And be careful with those free trials or discounts that lure you in with promises of amazing benefits or features. They might seem like a good deal at first, but they can also trap you into paying for something that you don't want or need later on. Watch out for new weight loss programs and diets from gurus. At first, you think, wow, this person knows what he's talking about. He looks amazing. He has millions of followers. He must have the secret to getting fit and healthy. So you buy his stuff, hoping that it will make you look like him or her. But then you realize that most of these health products are either useless, overpriced, or even harmful. They're not backed by any scientific evidence or research. They're just marketing gimmicks designed to make you spend more money on things that you don't need or want. They're not going to make you lose weight, gain muscle, improve your performance, or enhance your health. They're just going to make you lose money, waste time, and feel frustrated. For example, do you really need a protein powder that costs $50 a tub when you can get the same amount of protein from food for much cheaper? Do you really need a pre-workout drink that contains caffeine, sugar, and artificial colors and flavors when you can get the same energy boost from a cup of coffee or tea? Do you really need a fat burner that contains stimulants, laxatives, and other things that are unknown when you can burn fat by eating less and moving more? Do you really need a detox product that claims to cleanse your body of toxins when your liver and kidneys do that? The answer is no. You don't need any of these health products. They're not going to make any difference in your results or your well-being. They're just going to make a difference in your wallet and your sanity. So don't fall for the hype. Don't waste your money on health products that don't work or that could even harm you. Instead, focus on the basics. Eat well, exercise regularly, sleep enough, drink water, manage stress, and enjoy life. That's the best way to get fit and healthy without spending a fortune. The next thing that I think you should never waste your money on is lottery tickets or gambling. This might seem obvious, but a lot of people still do it. They think that they have a chance of winning big and changing their lives for the better. They think that it's worth spending a few dollars here and there for the thrill of the game and the hope of the jackpot. But the truth is, the odds are not in your favor. The chances of winning the lottery are so low that they're almost zero. You have a better chance of getting struck by lightning or bitten by a shark than winning the lottery. And even if you do win, it might not make you happy. Studies have shown that lottery winners are not happier than non-winners in the long run. They often face more problems, such as family conflicts, lawsuits, scams, addiction, depression, and even suicide. Gambling is also a bad idea, whether it's online or offline, whether it's sports betting or casino games or poker or anything else. Gambling is a losing proposition. The house always wins in the end. You might win some money in the short term, but you will lose more money in the long term. Gambling is addictive and can ruin your finances, your relationships, and your health. So don't waste your money on lottery tickets or gambling. It's not worth it. It's not fun. It's not smart. It's not going to make you rich or happy. It's just going to make you poor and miserable. Also, something that I think you should never waste your money on is buying things that you don't need or use just because they're on sale or cheap or free. This is a common trap that many people fall into. They see something that looks like a good deal and they buy it without thinking if they really want it or need it, or if they have space for it, or if they can afford it. They end up with a lot of clutter in their homes and their lives that doesn't bring them any joy or value. They end up with a lot of debt and stress that doesn't bring them any peace or freedom. For example, do you really need another pair of shoes when you already have 20 pairs in your closet? Do you really need another gadget when you already have 10 gadgets in your drawer? Do you really need another book when you already have 100 books on your shelf? Do you really need another free sample when you already have 50 free samples in your bathroom? The answer is no. You don't need any of these things. They're not going to make you happier or smarter or better. They're just going to take up space and money and time that you could use for something else. So don't waste your money on things that you don't need or use just because they're on sale or cheap or free. Instead, be mindful of what you buy and why you buy it. Only buy things that you truly love and need and use and that bring you joy and value. That's the best way to save money and live a simple and meaningful life. So those are 5 things that I think you should never waste your money on. Buying new phones or gadgets every time there's an upgrade. Paying for memberships that you don't use or need. Buying health products that don't work or that could harm you. buying lottery tickets or gambling, and buying things that you don't need or use just because they're on sale or cheap or free. Also, it can make a huge difference in your long-term returns. For example, if you invest $10,000 in a mutual fund that charges you 2% in fees every year, and it grows at an average rate of 7% per year, after 30 years, you will end up with about $57,000. But if you invest the same amount in a low-cost index fund that charges you only 0.1% in fees every year, and it grows at the same rate of 7% per year, after 30 years, you will end up with about $76,000. That's a difference of almost $20,000 just because of fees. So don't waste your money on mutual funds or financial advisors that charge you high fees and don't deliver better results than the market average. Instead, do your own research and invest in low-cost index funds that track the performance of the whole market or a specific sector or region that you're interested in. That's the best way to grow your money and achieve your financial goals without paying unnecessary fees. The next thing that I think you should never waste your money on is buying things on impulse or emotion. This is another common trap that many people fall into. They see something that they like or want or think they need, and they buy it without thinking if they can afford it, or if they have room for it, or if they already have something similar or better. They buy it because they feel bored or sad or stressed or happy or excited or whatever. But then they realize that they didn't really need or want or like that thing after all. They realize that it was just a temporary fix for their emotional state, or a distraction from their problems, or a way to fit in with others, or a way to impress others, or a way to reward themselves. They realized that it didn't bring them any lasting happiness, or satisfaction, or value. It just brought them more clutter and debt and regret. For example, do you really need to buy that new video game when you already have dozens of games that you haven't finished or played in a long time? Do you really need to buy that new outfit when you already have a closet full of clothes that you don't wear or don't fit? Do you really need to buy that new gadget when you already have a perfectly functional device that does the same thing? Do you really need to buy that new car when you already have a reliable vehicle that gets you from point A to point B? The answer is no. You don't need any of these things. They're not going to make you happier or smarter or better. They're just going to make you poorer and more stressed and more dissatisfied. So don't waste your money on things that you buy on impulse or emotion. Instead, be rational and intentional about what you buy and why you buy it. Only buy things that you truly need and use and that bring you joy and value. And before you buy anything, ask yourself these questions. Do I really need this? Can I afford this? Do I have space for this? Do I already have something like this? Will this make me happy in the long run? If the answer is no to any of these questions, then don't buy it. Save your money for something else. So those are 6 things that I think you should never waste your money on. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something from it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you have any other tips or suggestions on how to save money or avoid wasting money, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.